Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever it is you may be watching from, and welcome back to the JP Broadcasting channel here for the next round of the NicholsOilPros.com Triple Bypass Series for round number 6 of this season out at Charlotte Motor Speedway this evening. This round has been sponsored by Jon The Noj Crutchley for the TBP All Stars 120 this evening. I'm your commentator, Hamish Renaud, joined once again by Jim Cunningham alongside Jim. We've been away for an extra week because of the Super Bowl last week. We both predicted the correct winner being the Philadelphia Eagles. Those Chiefs have gone crying home, and Mr. Kelsey didn't get to propose to Taylor Swift after a Super Bowl win because he didn't win. And his brother's team got the win, even though he doesn't play for them anymore. That'll be an interesting Thanksgiving dinner later in the year, I'm sure. But Jim, you know, we've been away from our Triple Bypass for an extra week. Obviously, we spoke together last week in a different series, but how was your weekend? Of course, it's Daytona 500 day today. The iRacing official was across the weekend as well. It's a big weekend for oval fans, and it's a big weekend for oval racing in general.
Yeah, indeed it was. I actually did the Daytona 500 this morning for my, my try at it, and I got in trouble early and ended up hanging around fixing my car as time went on. Ended up finishing 14th, which is not great, but it's not the end of the world. So that was good, and yeah, obviously Super Bowl. I'm excited to be back with these guys, though. I really miss doing this series. I like this series, and skipping a week was I kind of felt off kilter because I didn't get to do this one.
It's all right, Jim. We know that the real trophy is contended in May when the Stanley Cup finals come around.
Oh no! Stop. Nobody watching this except for those 2 Canadians care about the Stanley Cup.
There are 5 Canadians in the field. Thank you.
Right, but only 2 of their family members watch.
Oh, quite possibly. That's quite possibly. Let's have a look at the points tally though at the moment, Jim. Give us a little rundown of where everyone stands and how everyone's going.
So yeah, there we go. We got Steve McClendon leading the. I'm sorry, I got distracted. I saw a little crash on the screen during practice. You got Steve McClendon leading the points right now at with 128, with Davey Hendricks right there behind him at 126. McClendon's strategy seems to be paying off. You know, he's running for these stage wins, and he's doing everything to gather as much points as he can, and it seems to be paying off for him so far. Then we got Ben Harcum and Brad Kress, your next 2. Brad had a really nice finish, almost had the win last time out. And we got Jared Jackson in 5th, Matt Harmon in 6th, and I believe he probably runs the best livery in this field. That's the Cunningham tire one. And we got Tyler Merritt.
No bias at all from
no, none whatsoever. Tyler Merritt, thumbstick, he's in 7th right now. And Elton Wu, we haven't actually heard a lot out of Elton Wu, but he silently got himself in the top 10 in these points so far this season with some decent runs. And in 9th place, Jeff Slaughter, and 10th, last season's champion, Kyle Dewey.
Well, we know that Tim O'Connor, of course, won last time out at Worldwide Tech Center, locked himself into a playoff position later in the season, Jim. So for these points, for these drivers, they want to try and set themselves up. If they can get a win tonight, they'll lock themselves into a playoff spot. That'll give them an opportunity at winning a title in this season.
Yeah, that's a big thing. You know, so once you get locked in, then they can have some fun and run. You know, but I really love what Steve McClendon's doing with, you know, he's really calculating it all out, trying to run for those extra points at the stage breaks and things like that. I mean, you can tell he's really focusing hard on the points this season.
Obviously, as well, for the schedule for this week, of course, the regular schedule for Triple Bypass. Tonight, the Next Gens, Tuesday, the Late Models, Wednesday for some dirt action, Thursday in the Xfinities, and then Friday in the Gen 3 Supercars as well. So it's going to be absolutely incredible this coming week. We've got a couple more rounds to go, of course, of this series before the prologue, before the playoffs happen as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. Qualifying's underway, so we'll get
Yeah,
some
let's
lap
see.
times in shortly of drivers as they're out on the circuit.
Yeah, we'll put the old tower up. See once the times start turning in. I don't think anybody's actually
Yeah,
out on the track yet, but
they're out there, but it's lone qualifying, so they'll all be setting their times, and then we'll kind of track it along with the timing tower as they set them here tonight. So Mr. Pericini has gone pole off the first lap time of 29.44. So they're quick laps at Charlotte. I mean, it's not a super speedway like Talladega or Daytona, Jim. And Charlotte's actually, it's kind of deceivingly small in terms of the lap time and how quick the laps can be. For 120 laps tonight, if they can average those 30-second lap times and we go without cautions after last time having 15, we should be in for a quick race. But in saying that, it's NASCAR's. It's NASCAR's, it's next gens, it's Charlotte. We could possibly see just an absolutely nuclear explosion out here in North Carolina, and we could possibly see some chaos as well. But as we mentioned, today's race sponsor, number 48, Jon Crutchley. We'll drag him in when we do have a caution at some point here tonight, have a chat to him. We have confirmed that the round sponsor is in the lounge. We went to the confirmation levels of finding him and getting him in there, so we have got the opportunity to drag him in and have a chat to him. But qualifying, though, each driver has 2 laps across the 5 minutes. Majority of the drivers have set their 2 laps, and Dustin Barton, the Canadian, is sitting on provisional pole in the 13 Camaro. It's less of a mix that we had last time, Jim. Last time we had a pretty even mix of the Camry, the Camaro, the Mustang. This week, it's all Camaro. I mean, there's a handful of Mustangs out there. There's only 3 Camrys, but there is well over 10 Camaros in the field tonight. There might even be closer to 15, actually.
yeah, there's a lot of Camaros out there right now for sure. A few Fords, but yeah, like you said, there are very few Camrys at all, which is surprising to me. But that's just I think with iRacing, that's basically just a aesthetics thing, because I believe all these cars are set to use.
Well, in real life, they're the same. It's literally just the shell over the car that's different
Right.
for the NASCARs.
So I believe
There's
that's
complete parity between each one, unlike Gen 3 supercars. That's a very contentious point of parity with supercars. Same with BOP for GT cars as well. But the good thing about NASCAR is every car, well, it's up to the team to make their car fast. It's not actually about the car type itself, because it's just a shell that goes over the space age chassis.
Well, you're speaking of that, my GT3 car got bopped this week by iRacing. We had been practicing for the 12-hour of Mount Panorama next week, of course, and over there in your neck of the woods. And yeah, they killed my car today or yesterday.
Was that the Acura?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, bad.
Not surprised at all, because that thing was OP as all hell. That thing was overpowered for the previous BOP. As we can see, I just noticed the Duffman pit sign for the number 77.
Oh, I missed it.
We know exactly who that's for. That's, of course, the Duffmobile.
Yes.
Out there of Sean Bradley. Had a tough run last week. Got caught up in some trouble as well. We know that Pericini got caught up in trouble last week as well, from some of the issues on track at Worldwide Tech Center. It was a very interesting track layout as well. Of course, one corner was wider than the other one was tighter, and you had to take 2 different approaches to each of them. But tonight, with Charlotte, both the corners, or all 3 of the corners technically, are all the same. You got the kind of main straight that's similar to Daytona and Talladega. Then you got the 2 sections of this tri-oval that are exactly the same in terms of their turn-in and their angles as well. But race is about to begin. This is our starting grid for this evening's race. Dustin Barton will start on the front row alongside Will Emmett on P1 and P2. Tyler Merritt, Jared Jackson for your top 4. Jason Benson, Rick Ellison on the third row, with Jeff Slaughter, Matt Harmon for the top 8. Ryan Hyatt and Al Corey will make up the top 10. Matt Pericini and Mike Weeder will start on the 6th row, with Sean Bradley and Kyle Dewey on the 7th row in behind them. Jon Crutchley and Morris Bogan will start for your top 16, with the Australian John Campbell in the field tonight, starting alongside Matthew Aloka, Colin Woods, Tyler Rulis for the top 20, Then Brad Kress, Riley Smith, Isaac Voss, Steve McClendon, and Dylan Brown at the back of the field. Dylan was struggling with some blinking issues in the practice session. I'm not sure if they are actually fielding their car tonight. But we've got the typical Charlotte start, starting on the edge of the track before they drive out for the warm-up lap here, Jim.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know. It just seems it's a little strange to me sometimes. But
it's the Lamar style start.
It is, and that right there is probably the only reason that I don't gripe about it. I used to love the old Le Mans starts. I'm old enough to remember when they actually used to do that, and so yeah, that was a lot of fun back in the day. So one thing I found interesting is, like Matt Parasini put down that quick lap early on in qualifying, and he's typically really fast, and he's all the way down in 11th place. I wonder if something happened on his second lap that that maybe cost him a little bit or something, because it's unlike him to be down in 11th, especially after throwing out that original really good lap.
Jim, that was some excellent camera work by you there.
Thank you.
You set that up very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's obviously either made a mistake or just hasn't been able to match the pace that he's previously had. For Barton and Emmett, they'll be on the front row, obviously. Merritt, for this rolling start, had a little blink just that I noticed.
Yeah, he did.
Hopefully he kept this nice and clean as well. Of course, we are the TBP ALL STARS 120 tonight as well. That logo can be situated up in the top right-hand corner throughout the evening, throughout the process as well. Of course, the JP Broadcasting logo will be up there too throughout the night as well. So be sure to keep an eye out for those. If you're new here as well, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing here. We've got many races to come this week. A multitude. We've already had, I think, 4, but this is our 4th broadcast of the day, Jim. It's my 2nd.
Yeah, it might be
James
5, actually.
2. Alex had 2. It's been absolutely wild. But pace cars in. Let's go green for triple bypass. TBP ALL STARS 120. Green flag for lap 1 of 120. And how long will the green period be out at Charlotte Motor Speedway? The first section of this race. Rocking around turn 1. You can see they're trying to find their way at the moment. Jackson's there. We're figuring out where you want to place the car, what line you want to be taking in, which way you want to be setting to. Merritt is still struggling with that blinking issue. So he could cause chaos if that gets any worse, because he's at fast pace. You do not have a lot of time to react to someone disappearing and reappearing right in front of you.
Yeah, that's but I tell you what, that happened to me today in the 500, and it cost me a lot of places because I let up because I didn't want to hit him, because you don't know where the guy's going to reappear. Yeah, that's a bad situation to be in if you're a driver behind somebody blinking like that, for sure.
Oh, he's just dropped even further. So the blinks are getting worse for Tyler Merritt. He may get told to come into the lane and fix up his internet issues if this begins to persist. But we've got a different car type in the top 3, a Chev, a Mustang, and a Camry. And Jared Jackson at the moment has got all sorts of pressure in behind this battle from Will Emmett and Rick Ellison as well. It's just been fastest sector after fastest sector getting set. And I think the problem now is, Jim, if Merritt does actually drop out, Barton's going to have a hell of a gap over Jackson, who would take P2. Because that would turn out to 1.4 seconds nearly between Barton and Jackson, and that would almost be good enough to get away from the tow.
He's blinking bad too. He just did it right there as he went out of camera. Yeah, I don't know. Usually I'm pretty sure that somebody will step in and tell him to put that thing in the pits until he gets that corrected. They usually won't allow that to happen too much in this series.
Barton has had a great start. Started the car on pole and has stayed where he started. Only 2 cars in the field have stayed where they started. Barton and then as well Kyle Dewey further back in the field. Everyone else has either gained or lost positions, as Ellison starting to move through the field in the train in behind this as well. Yep. They're all swapping and changing. It's that's what it's going to be for the whole race, Jim. Swapping and changing positions, trying to keep it clean. It's a long way to go. I mean, we've got 115 laps left to run. It's undoubtedly a lot of laps to do, and you've just got to keep it clean for the whole way.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. And I was talking about Matt Parasini before and his qualifying lap and maybe what happened there. He's up 7 spots already, all the way up to 4th place now. So he's definitely moving up through the field.
The Barton, he still leads, but Parasini is on the charge. He's up to P3 and up 8 positions at the moment.
Yeah,
he's going to try and catch Tyler Merritt and get past the Blinky Bill in P2 and then try and chase down Dustin Barton. It's the only thing we can call him, really. He is blinking more than islands at the moment, is Tyler Merritt.
That's a good one. Yeah, he is. That's unfortunate, though, man. I'm telling you, it's so scary to race behind somebody like that, you know, because literally they could end your race and you had nothing to do, you know. I mean, it's just a bad situation all the way around. Hopefully he'll get that straightened out, or maybe, you know, usually the problem is, though, once that kind of stuff starts happening, it usually doesn't just go away, unfortunately.
And it's unfortunate, too, because we obviously don't want his race ended because of it. We don't want other drivers' races ended because they get caught up in an accident. Are we happy to see other people's races get taken out by an accident? Well, of course, because that means that we're having some absolutely chaotic racing and cautions are getting called. But we don't want it to happen because you can't see someone and then they reappear out of nowhere right in front of you or right beside you. So, you know, there's undoubtedly going to be overlap for some cars tonight. You can see the Australian there of John Campbell just struggling to stay a line astern further back in the field. So he's now dropped back some positions. But Mike Weeder at the moment, he's got himself in a good position on the road and up inside of the top 10 as well. And actually, I think there might be somebody else. That was Rick Ellison, I think it was, actually, on the outside line, not John Campbell. He's further back in the field at the moment, but he's caught out at the moment is Rick on that outside line. But for Parasini, he's had a good run and he's keeping people in behind him. But yeah, Ellison at the moment, he's struggling on that outside line, Jim. He needs to try and get on the inside lane to tuck in ahead of your favorite driver, Matt Harmon.
My favorite livery for sure. Actually, I do like Matt a lot, but it's certainly my favorite livery when he runs that Cunningham tire livery. Well, I can see how you could mistake that car for JC John Campbell, especially in a quick look. That green and white is a whole lot like what Campbell runs, obviously. Yeah, you know, it looks like Ellison likes the high line here, and he may be struggling a little bit to find his line right now, but obviously he feels like his car is going to come in up there, you know.
Yeah, maybe he thinks he can just carry slightly more speed on the higher line, but he wants a pathway through Jared Jackson just ahead of him in the Camry. Could Ellison get the run? It's also dependent on if the driver ahead wants to give you the slipstream or if he wants to give the other driver the slipstream. And at the moment, Ellison's getting hung out to dry for the majority of this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he seems to have kind of slid down a little bit now, a little anyway. He's kind of running that middle line through there just now. Now he's back up high there. Apparently his car must like, you were talking about earlier about the track having equal corners. Here, I'm gonna run back up here and take a look at. Oh my goodness,
he's got a gap.
So no, I was gonna pull the track map up real quick if I can figure out where that's at. I got it here. So the one thing about this track is 1 and 2 is a little wider per se than 3 and 4. 3 and 4.
It's a different entry point, but the track's basically mirrored, isn't it?
Well, the one thing about this track is that there's a little bump. Right there. actually, right where that just happened. That couldn't have happened at a better time. There's a little hump in the track right there as you exit 4, and your car gets a little bit light, and it can throw you out there to the wall, which is exactly what I was about to say when it happened to Dustin there. So yeah, it's a weird corner. The exit off 4 can get strange, you know, in especially different vehicles like the Xfinity car and the Cup car kind of sometimes have a problem with the exit off 4 there. Indy cars, when they race here, have a horrible time with with that turn.
I want to see IndyCar at Talladega. I think that would be wild. Well, I mean, they race at Daytona, don't they? There's no point in why they couldn't race at Talladega if they don't.
Yeah, do they race at Daytona?
I think so.
Oh,
I'll do some research. I'll do some research. I'll get back to you on that.
I did not know that they did. If they do, that would be a blast to watch for sure. Of course, you know, they don't even race anymore at Las Vegas because, of course, what that horrible accident that killed the. Can't remember.
Apparently, they've never raced at Daytona.
Yeah,
once in the 60s on the oval, but that's about it. And they did it in the 2010s on the road course.
Well, the road course now, but still, that'd be fun even when they get up on the bank.
I would assume that they have not raced at Talladega.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, they haven't. Interesting that they haven't raced there. You would think they would. I mean, it's a tri-oval, sure, but surely they have enough downforce to get cars on the road.
Yeah, I think that they're probably more worried about what would happen if it went bad.
You know, but they now have the halo for that.
Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean, I'm talking about just getting up. The reason they slowed these NASCAR vehicles down and put restrictor plates on them at Daytona and Talladega is because of they started getting up into the catch fence really bad when they wrecked, because they would get so much air under the car that they were afraid that it was going to throw them actually, you know, into the high part of the catch fence and actually injure fans. That happened a couple times, and that's when they started slowing these cars down. Let's see we got Mike Rita back. Let's see what he's doing back here.
Yeah, let's suss up what's happening with Mike.
He's
also big shout out to anyone watching along with us, of course, as well.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
whatever you might be doing, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, whether you're at the gym, possibly as well. That was directed at a particular person who I know is watching and listening right now. Yes, I know that you're listening to me. Keep lifting hard. But you know, it's a great racing, Jim. We're already 20 laps in, out of caution. We've had none.
Yeah. Well, point. I mean, again, that's
on this trajectory. It looks like we're going to get to the stage end.
Yes.
And without a caution, because it doesn't look like we're going to get one at the moment. But I also want to point out the top 5, all Canadians.
Oh, there's something wrong with that picture. They are. Well, there sure is a lot of maple leaves up there, isn't there? Golly, look at that.
The sticky situation at the front of the field.
Yeah, it's definitely a sticky. So you're in that sticky situation.
Yeah. So hilarious. I noticed also Merritt had come into pit lane. And then as well the fact that the previous leader was leading. Where have they gone?
Oh, by the way, I do want to point out that, you know, Matt Parasini now has the lead up there.
That's what I was saying. I'm trying to figure out where the previous leader went.
It was Sean was it? No, not Sean Bradley. It was Dustin Barton. He's right there in third.
Oh, yep. Yeah, he's still there. Okay.
Let's see. You know me in these replays, but I want to see if I can real quick go back and find possibly a pass for the lead.
As we find that, Pirasini and Bradley side by side for the lead of the race. The 77 and the 24. Battling it out hard for the lead at this point. We know that Pirasini's strong. We know he's got good pace. But it's going to come down to strategy tonight. That's where it's where it can make or break your race, and where it can make or break your championship. We know if they can save fuel and get to the end of the stage without a pit stop, they're going to be on the benefit for the final part of the race here this evening.
Yeah, they. I was trying to figure out what happened to Tyler Merritt to see why he pitted so early. Unless
probably he's instead, I'm sure. He probably came in to try and sort that out.
Of course, yeah. Well, he came right back out, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jeff Slaughter dropping positions. He's coming into pit lane, as is Dustin Barton.
Yeah.
So Barton and Slaughter in.
I guess this must be the beginning of scheduled pit stops, I guess. Interesting. So
Very interesting.
about 25 laps on a tank of fuel.
Yeah. So for Pericini and Bradley, how much have they saved and how much further can they go? Unless this is just strategic for some of these drivers. Come in early, put some fuel in, and then get yourself heavy for the next portion of the race after the staging, which we assume is going to be coming around about that lap 40 mark.
Somebody just wrecked coming into pit road.
Who was that? It hasn't said that anyone's wrecked coming in, unless it was Tyler Rulis.
Well,
Yeah,
here,
look on my end.
I'm going to do this the way that James, because the camera.
It was Tyler Rulis.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. See, right.
Yep.
I'm backing it up here. I hope James doesn't see this, but yeah, look at him. He lost it coming into pit road. That's so easy. Can happen.
All the time. Barton has manually disconnected.
Oh, what?
Dustin Barton. I was about to say Dustin Martin. Dustin Barton is out of this race and out of the session. He's gone. So the pole sitter is out.
Wow. Wonder if that was a connection issue.
Quite possibly. But it says manually disconnected, so it means that he's made the decision to leave. So either something's come up or something's happened to mean that he had to leave this race.
Yeah. Usually, at some point in time, somebody usually will message me and tell me that kind of stuff is happening. So,
there's a heap of cars coming into pit road now. Matt Pericini and Mike Weeder. Rick Ellison, Colin Woods as well. Isaac Voss, all in pit lane. Just checking on Tyler Merritt here. I think he might have done a little happy wiggle onto his Ethernet cable, because that seems it might have fixed his issues. Or he's kicked somebody off of the internet as well, because he's not blinking at the moment. But right now, Sean Bradley, as we're in pit road, is leading this race. Matt Harmon and Ryan Hyatt are battling it out for P2. A heap of pit stops coming into play at the moment as Matt Harmon comes in the Cunningham tyres machine. I know that makes you a bit giddy, Jim, hearing that name out on track.
Shocking, yes.
Absolutely shocking. I feel electrified at the moment. I should become an electrician. I'm
Speaking of electrified, you look at that paint job on his car. It almost looks. Oh, we got a caution. Is that the?
We got our first caution. I would say that it is the end of the.
No. This is a crash. Mike Weeda crashed.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But the yellow flag was called before his crash was classified. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a caution. That's a caution crash.
Yeah. Just spun it right there. Cold tires.
The stage. Yeah, cold tires.
Well, he just came out of the pits too.
He did.
Yeah, the stage break is at lap 45, so we've got just a little bit before that. Let me see right here. Yeah, that must have been what it was. Just that was an unfortunate little spin there for him. Back up here with the leaders. So
I'm sure his tires are feeling like grease lightning at the moment. Just how greasy they were. You know what? This has now hurt the front of the field because they didn't come in under green flag, so they're about to all lose these positions to the drivers that did come in under this spot.
Yes, but several of those guys are a lap down that came in. The only guys
they'll now get their lap back.
Right.
On these guys. The only one who should get lucky dog is probably Tyler Rulis. If he's still out there, he is. So he'll get it for sure because he's the front of the lapped cars, and plus Barton's out of the race, so he was never really going to be an option anyway.
Correct.
So Hyatt's going to come out in the lead, but he's going to come out in the lead behind the pack of cars that are stuck behind the pace car, and they're still going to be a lap ahead of them.
Let's see what's going on now up here. See if we can sort this out.
Unless they're going to give a wave by to the front car in the pack, which is Matt Harmon at the very front of the pack of lap cars. I believe. Let me check. No, it'd be Matt Piracini. So Piracini at the moment would get the go-ahead to get a lucky dog, and he'd actually roll back around and get onto the back of the train. Because technically these guys have not been passed by the leader, but they are a lap down, Jim. So that's then the question. Do they get the wave around, or does Tyler Rulis get it because he is behind the leaders?
Well, that's a good question. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out myself. So all these guys here pitted on, so no, the guys up front now pitted on this caution. But they're not behind. They're being shown as the leaders, but they're not, no, there they go. Okay, there it is. Now it's resetting.
Piracini's gone past, so they're all getting reset past the pace car.
Yeah.
So that would then mean that Tyler Rulis would get a lucky dog rule out of this, and he would get let past.
He should, yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to have, it's, well, I guess it's Kyle Dewey, or is it Ryan Hyatt here? We keep bouncing back and forth. I'm trying to figure out.
Who's on the inside line? The three. Well, so Ryan Hyatt would be the P1.
Yeah. And
so they've all been let past, and Rulis has gotten his lucky dog rule as well out of all that too. So they'll all now tuck up back in behind these guys. So actually going a bit longer and waiting for the caution has paid off for this front pack. But it's also dependent on how much fuel they've actually put into the car. Some drivers have taken 9 seconds, some drivers took 15. So I'd assume that some have taken tyres at this point, possibly.
Yeah, I would think, or maybe not though. It just depends.
Possibly not.
Because
you got the stage changeover coming up in what 6 laps time, possibly.
No, 10 laps. That's 45.
Okay, 10 laps. Okay. And
so
when we get to that stage changeover, we will chat. Pace cars in. When we get to stage changeover, we will chat to our round sponsor, Jon Crutchley, for the next guaranteed caution in this race. We're back under green flag conditions. Ryan Hyatt leads the pack towards turn 1, 2. The whole field scrambles once again. Still a long way to go before we see the check-in. Here, Jim, and in terms of triple bypass, it doesn't matter where you are. Carnage and chaos and strategy can get you to the front of the field.
Absolutely. I'm just looking through the field here to see. So Piracini, who had got up into the lead there, and after everything shuffled with those pit stops, and he pitted on lap 29, I believe. Yeah, I believe he pitted
a short stop as well, 7.8 seconds, so it wasn't very long for him.
But he's back in 14th position, trying to work his way back up again. You got Sean Bradley and Ryan Hyatt up there. They benefited tremendously from waiting and pitting on lap 32 when that caution came out, as opposed to the guys who pitted under green.
I think for Piracini right now, he was begging. He was saying, please, 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 no caution. Leave me at the front with his pit stop strategy. And that's cost him at the moment, Jim. He's looking forward in this race. He has to now battle his way through once again. He's all the way back to P10 on the road. Biggest mover thus far, Steve McClendon, who was in contention last week. He's up 16 positions. Sean Bradley at the front, up 12 in the 77 Duff beer entry, which you can see on screen now.
McClendon, just like we were talking pre-race, is the split is coming for the stage break is coming, and here comes McClendon trying to pick up those stage break points. Like I said, that's kind of been his strategy.
The longest regular stop of the whole field, 26.6 seconds. So I think he has taken time.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's done that under the caution. Could be a smart strategy, could be a smart play at this point of the race.
Well, early in the season, when I was doing these Bengals earlier in the year, he told us after his first race win that was kind of going to be his strategy. Now that he had locked himself in, he was going to try to come up in the middle stages and pick those points up, and then take it from there and see how he finished the race, and that's what I was kind of talking about pre-race with him, about him. And here he comes. He's flying up. He's got tires. He's got fuel. A lot of these guys probably waited on tires, or at least several of them. And he's took the run on by them.
That fresh rubber for Steve McClendon paying dividends at the moment. Look how many drivers have changed tyres at the stage changeover in only a couple of laps' time. We've had a couple of cars off track on the main straight, Jim. We've got to watch for a yellow flag here and a caution. They've kept it going. I'm just watching them on my screen. They look okay at the moment. Rick Ellison is one of them. It's ended up off the road, but they may not call the yellow.
No, it looks
seeing
like
as
they're
we are
not.
so close to the stage changeover.
Oh!
Oh, that was big.
2 cars involved there. That should have brought out a caution.
Yeah, for sure.
Typically in this league, if 2 cars get involved, they typically will throw a caution, even a manual caution. But I don't know that we have anybody in race control tonight. He just took a little shortcut.
He just drove off the track.
Yeah, he just pulled a little Dale Earnhardt Sr. there. That was
pulling the tires, Jim. That's what he was doing.
Well, that used to work, actually. That's funny you say that. So McClendon now, he's up to 4th place. He's coming hard for the stage break, but he's only got 2 laps to get it done. I don't think he's going to get there.
Well, at the moment for Sean Bradley, he's in the prime position for the stage break to take those points for stage 1. The pit lane entrances have closed at this point, Jim, because we're so close to stage ending. That's why the yellow would not have been thrown. If we weren't so close to the stage end, we probably would have had that caution. We've got 1 lap before stage closure, and Sean Bradley looks to take those points at the early portion of this race.
The caution should fly right here when they cross the line, because it usually in this the way they do it in this league, it should fly at lap when they cross the line for lap 45. So if I'm not mistaken, it should fly this time. We'll see. They had a little incident a couple of weeks ago where it didn't fly till lap 46, but yeah, see, there it is.
And the next caution has now been called for the stage end, and the points have gone the way of Sean Bradley at the front of the field in the 77. So his strategy played off.
Yeah.
Tyler Merritt, Al Corey, the top 3, Steve McClendon, Morris Bogan, top 5, John Campbell, Ryan Hyatt, Kyle Dewey, Jason Benson, and Matthew Aloka.
I believe it's Al. Oh, it is Alica. Yeah.
Alica, yeah.
I was going to say Alcoa, but that's not right.
No, it's not. Stage end, though, let's have a quick chat to our round sponsor, of course, for Jon Crutchley. Mr. Crutchley, the round sponsor, of course, for the TBP All Stars 120. First of all, hope you're doing well. And second of all, how's this race that you're sponsoring going for you? Are you with us, John?
Yes. Hey, guys. How you doing?
There he is.
Sorry about that.
There's the Noj. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. And yourself?
Good. So, since you're the race sponsor, I know you're coming in for a pit stop here. We'll let you get pulled into your pit box before we start quizzing you, so we'll give you a second.
Sounds good.
We're just gonna chat while you do that.
All right.
There you go. So how's the race going for you so far, man?
So far, I'm hitting the wall on 4 every time I'm coming out. So, and then I see a lot of loose cars in front of me, and we're all just trying to avoid each other. It's a really loose track right now for some reason.
Yeah, I think. Charlotte's always a little rough coming out of 4. Man, that gives everybody fits all the time.
You're dodging everybody.
So it looks like you must have taken tires on your previous stop, huh?
Yes, I took 4 tires on lap 39, I think it was.
30,
somewhere in the late 30s.
In the 30s, yeah.
And then I just went ahead and I was just letting everybody just pass me. I wanted to save my tires as best I could and just go in for gas right now.
Yeah,
so I think up to 10th.
Yeah, it gives you some good field position. That's nice. Well, we wanted to thank you for, let's pop that up while we're talking about it. We want to thank you for sponsoring the race today. And, you make all the race sponsors, the guys that make all this happen. So thank you.
Thanks you.
and hopefully we'll check back in with you later running up front.
Yeah, please. Yeah, it sounds great. Thank you guys so much for what you guys do. And yeah, don't mind chatting with you guys later.
All right, buddy.
Is it all done? Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys.
Well, Jim, that's our race sponsor.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Him.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. So, yeah,
let's quickly, have we got Sean Bradley in there? We do. Let's quickly chat with him about this restart, see what his strategy is, Jim.
What's the lights on?
Under caution.
Lights
on or is it off?
They look off to me.
Okay, we'll wait.
Yeah.
We'll wait to confirm it.
Yeah. We don't want to, especially not the leader, you know.
No, especially the leader, because that might give us another caution, which means we can talk to more drivers.
Yeah, let's don't do that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I know a couple of weeks ago we brought in McClendon into the booth to talk to him right as he was pitting, and he missed his pit box because of us.
That sounds like a Steve McClendon problem, if you ask me, Jim.
Yeah, I bet it does. Indeed, it was definitely a Steve McClendon problem. So Colin Woods is split up there into first. Oh, he didn't come into the pits. He didn't even pit.
No, neither did Bradley.
Yeah,
neither of them pit.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Back to green.
They'll take natural digression after they have to come into the pit lane once again. Down the front of the field as Bradley leads them through. Corey's already putting the pressure on Woods and tucked it up the inside to get up into P2 before halfway around this circuit once again.
Look at the boss man Al Corey out there, man. So he must have done that same strategy. He must have picked up tires earlier and just got a little splash of gas there to top it off, and came out quick. That's good. That's good strategy for Al. Let's put the camera on Al and talk about him a little bit. He's the boss. He's the one that helps organize all this and pays the bills. So we love Al. Plus he does all this phenomenal stuff for this league. Recap videos, I think he does. I'm not 100% sure about that. He's certainly the one that relays all that stuff to us. But yeah, he takes care of businesses in this league and does a great job. And that's a good time to mention that. You know, if you're looking for a league to run some oval track and maybe even those Gen 3 supercars on Friday nights, check this league out. This is a great league. These guys, they help each other. They practice a lot together. Just a really good group of guys. So if you're looking for a league to participate in, this will be a good one.
So, Jim, as a bald man yourself, do you find any... well, I know that Al is. Do you find any strategic or in-car advantage to being without hair, possibly some weight reduction?
Yes, definitely. No, it's not that much weight reduction at all. I didn't have that much before I started shaving my head. The weight reduction...
Any ounces lost at count, Jim. I mean,
yeah, well, the weight reduction came for me at about age 35 or so. That's when the weight reduction started. You're wrong for that. I'm gonna get you back for that one.
Oh, I'm like you. I have a full head of hair, Jim.
Well, I did at your age too.
Yeah, a lot of people do at my age. Some people don't, and they're the ones you got to feel bad for.
Yeah, I got a nephew who's relatively close to me in age, but and he lost his. I mean, his hair turned completely gray at about. Couldn't have been more than about 24 or 25 years old, and he went completely gray.
There must have been something in the water.
Well, it's funny you say
chlorine.
Funny you say that, because when we were kids, we used to have this swimming hole that we used, and it was I don't know if you know what creosote is or creosote. It's a treatment they used to put on poles, I think, to keep them from rotting, like telephone wire poles and stuff. And this was behind this old creosote factory, and it turned out to be, at one time, it was labeled in the top 10 most hazardous waste sites in the United States, and we used to swim there as kids.
That might be the reason why you're bald, Jim, and why his hair went grey, possibly.
Probably so. All right. Well, Sean Bradley's got it stretched out here a little bit too. Almost a 2.5 seconds. Uh-oh.
Another caution, Jim, and unfortunately, it's the round sponsor, Jon Crutchley, who's had a moment, and I think Matt Harmon as well. So that was when the caution was called. Let's just quickly have a look at. There's a moment just below it. There's one just below the yellow flag call, Jim, of Jon Crutchley going off track. Oh, yeah, that was Harmon. Spun off the road, and then Crutchley appeared to have been at fault for that one. So Bradley, when we go back to live, will be at the front of the field still, but no, he's turned him. It looks as if.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that from another angle.
Oh no, he lost it on his own.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it looks like he did anyway.
That wasn't even John's fault. He just had evasive action.
So that was after the caution, though. What actually caused the caution to come out?
I would say it was Harmon having the moment, possibly. Because sometimes it can be a little bit earlier on the incident report of when the yellow actually gets thrown.
Okay, yeah, that's
be off by a couple of seconds sometimes.
I'll go back to live here real
quick. Because I'm not seeing anything else that could have led to this, but let's have a quick chat to Sean Bradley, who leads the field behind the pace car at the moment. And
wait a minute, he's coming in.
Coming into pit lane. We're not going to talk to Sean Bradley. Then he's coming into pit lane. Who are we going to talk to? Let's talk to Al Corey, who now leads the way.
Yeah, let's talk to Al.
Has taken his second pit stop, so let's check out some of his strategy. Mr. Corey?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, very good. Very good. We thought we'd come have a quick chat to you since we're under pace car once again, and you are leading the field. You've finally taken that second stop in this race on the stage ending. But how's the strategy for you at the moment? Because you had a great restart, then made your way up towards the front, and then now that the top two have come in, you're back in the lead.
It's a bit worrisome to see most of the field come in. I came in last, caution, took fuel, no tires, and I was thinking another 20 laps I'll be ready for tires. So I think I might be off sequence here with some guys. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm just trying to. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have a set of tires for a late restart. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Well, that's good strategy, actually, Al, and there's nothing wrong with being a little off kilter with some of the guys, because that can work out in your favor. There's obviously a lot of fast guys on the other strategy, so this is a good way to maybe slot yourself in there and see if it works out to your advantage a little later. Like you said, picking up that late set of tires could be really beneficial here at Charlotte.
Yeah, if I get to use them, that's always the worry, is that you don't get, you end up finishing the race and you've got to set in the pits. But the other thing is track position. Like, I don't know what you guys can see from up on the booth, but I'm getting, like, when you're in traffic, it's really tight. It's really tight. So I'm not really thrilled about being mid-pack.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely can see that a lot of the guys are especially getting tight coming out of four, and a lot of guys are sliding up and catching that wall coming out of four. But it looks like the lights are off here on the pace car. We'll let you focus on this restart, especially since you're up front there. Thanks for chatting with us, buddy. We'll hopefully talk to you later in the race when the strategy pays off.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Oh, I wish we had another lap of that, because I wanted to ask him possibly the reason behind Mr. Barton leaving the session. No, it's okay.
He may know.
What to do because the caution's ending, so that's why I was kind of hoping we get another lap under safety car, but that's fine. But yeah, if we get another chance with another caution, we might drag him back in and just ask him some reasonings as to why Barton may have left the session and left the race, since they are co-founders of Triple Bypass. So
yes,
he might be in the know.
So Noj is one of them, and also Jason Benson is another guy we can pull in and ask questions like that too.
Well, we might ask him then, since we haven't spoken to Jason, so we might wait until the next caution. But we are currently, including the stage end, we're at 3 cautions so far, Jim. Just to keep track. So Tyler Rulis is on wood for 3 cautions at the moment, for 3 yellow flags. So he better hope that they stay green for the next 60 laps.
Speaking of green,
pace car's in. Let's go green once again at Charlotte and scream through the night in North Carolina.
Let's crank it up.
Underway.
We'll crank it up here.
Piracini as well. Jackson and Bogan, Campbell, Bradley all battling. Which lane is the right one? The absolute maximum. It's almost looking to go 3 wide through some of these corners. They are wanting positions and they're wanting them early, but it's intense in the midfield. This could be smart strategy from Corey Piracini to be at the front of the field and out of the danger zone of the mid-pack of this battle.
Yeah, I think Charlotte's definitely a track that if you can get up front, you know, you just never know. This is one of those kind of tracks that, like when you're at Daytona, you know it's going to happen. So you either try to be up front or way back, you know. But mid-pack at Charlotte can get dangerous for sure.
The driver's getting caught out from changing of lanes and the slipstream that can be applied by sitting inside the mid-pack as well. I've just seen Brad Kress now broken into the top 10. He finished on the podium last time out at Worldwide Tech Center Gym. Finished P2 in behind Tim O'Connor, who has obviously locked his place in the playoffs later this season. Kress in the Bezos machine, we'll call it. He's looking to break his way forward. He's already up 11 positions in this race.
Well, you remember he almost won that race.
He did. He was very close.
Yeah, he really his strategy worked out well. And you know, I always say the same thing about Brad Kress every time. You know, you don't see him a lot in the highlight film during the middle of the race or anything, but he just saves his stuff. He takes care of it. And he always seems to be somewhere around at the end. And he certainly was on that very difficult track in St. Louis at Gateway, the old Gateway. You know, he did an excellent job there. And
who was it that races in this field on a gamepad?
Oh, it's Tyler.
Was it McClendon?
No, it's
Tyler
Tyler.
Ruler.
Tyler Merritt.
Tyler Merritt.
Yeah, Tyler Merritt. Extremely
That's
fast. Right. Extremely fast.
4.2 KI rating on a gamepad. That's ridiculous, isn't it? I dream of getting that sort of skill level. But Al Corey's starting to drop back further into the clutches of the midfield as he gets passed by drivers who've come into the pits under that caution. But his strategy is still strong. It's okay to give up positions now, Jim. As long as you stay clean, the strategy could still go your way.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you stay back there, find you a little spot where you can draft in there and keep up with those guys. And you're on older tires. And like I said, if it works out for him, he's going to be able to put those good tires on late in the race. And, you know, that'll be a really nice strategy for him.
Oh, Jim, look at these production shots you are pulling out at the moment. Well done. I wanted to give you plaudits before you went back to live without me telling you. It was fantastic.
I managed to figure that out all on my own.
Well done, Jim. Everyone in the chat needs to give a round of applause to Jim. He is working so hard to learn production recently. And he is coming through, you know, chutes and ladders in terms of levels above. So it's fantastic, Jim. Great to see. Very, very proud of your efforts.
Yeah, it's. I have to say, I sure thought this was going to be easier than it is. It's
easier the more you do it, Jim. I will say that. Once you learn the systems, it becomes like second nature eventually. So you just got to give it time and give it practice. But Bradley and Piracini, well, the Maple battle is on at the front of the field for the lead of this race. 4 Canadians in the top 10. Only one of them is out. That's Dustin Barton at the back of the field. So he's out of this race as well. So we are 1 Canadian down, 4 still at the front.
How many Canadian references do you have?
Okay, so I got you one for you, Jim. We've got 2 Canadian battles happening at the moment. That's a double-double. We'll see who's going to have to be paying for the Hortons with the loonies and toonies between Piracini and Bradley at the front of the field, and either of them who can get forward. We'll see if either of them end up like the Canadians, the Senators, or the Leafs in terms of being very unsuccessful in trying to take a race win, or if they're going to possibly be like the Edmonton Oilers, who actually have got quite a few cups next to their name, and the most recent Canadian Cup as well. Let's see here. Oh, well, we know for you, Jim, and for Al Corey, head of lettuce is a struggle for you because you've got no hair. That's not a dig. That's just a reference. And how much flow they've got on track as well.
Oh, these jokes
are
a sticky situation for sure.
Oh, a real sticky situation there, bud. Get the maple out.
Yeah, well, you know.
Pancakes.
You're killing me.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Let's go on board here with old Thumbstick and see what's happening. Man holds a smooth wheel for using a game controller.
Yep, he is very... I wonder if he has one of those 3D printed attachments that you can put onto your controller.
Those are
that kind
cool.
of turn the thumbsticks into a wheel.
Yeah, I don't know if he does or not. Those are cool.
Maybe that's the secret to actually being able to use a gamepad.
We have to ask him that at some point in time. Looks like he did get his internet issue figured out, though, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Probably had to kick. I don't know if he lives at home with his parents or not, but I was gonna say he probably has to kick mom and dad off the computer, or I know he's not I know he's a relatively young man like you, but his wife or his son or whatever, he had to kick somebody off.
Jim, I don't feel young anymore. I'm getting old at this point. Me and my partner, we're nearly 30 at this point, so I'm starting to feel old.
Nearly 30.
It has dawned upon me that next year is 10 years since I graduated high school, and it makes me feel like where have those 10 years gone?
Yeah.
At this point. So
I bet it does. Right.
It does. I know.
I'm 40 years out of high school.
Well, see, there you go. But eventually I'll get over it and it'll be like, oh, high school was years ago. It's not even a factor, but
Yeah, you start going to these high school reunions, and every time there's less and less people. And
I don't even know if that's a thing here, Jim. If we have high school reunions or not, I don't know if that's
really
something that happens in Australia. Yeah, I've never really heard of it happening. My parents definitely never had invites to their high school reunions, so I don't know if it's even a thing, to be honest with you.
Really? Let's go back here and see what's going on. Man. Somebody we hadn't talked a lot about tonight is Colin Woods. He did work his way up there in the front for a little while. He was just passing Al, and so I thought I'd pop back, but he got by Al before I had a chance to get back and talk about him. And you see Steve McClendon there right behind Al in 11th place. That's, Steve.
Oh, Rick Ellison. Oh, he's got it going again. I just saw that he had an off track, but he's kept going. I was keeping an eye on it in case we had the yellow called. But McClendon, he's sneaking his way forward. He's definitely playing the low and slow game here, Jim. He's definitely more of a, we'll call it a dry age smoked steak over Matt Pericini's flank steak that just gets seared in a pan and then cooked in butter until the end. For sure, he's a low and slow kind of strategist, where Matt uses his pace more or less to get to the front of the field.
Well, Matt's definitely fast. Let's go back and take a look at Rick Ellison's off track there, him and JC. The two green and white cars running together. Talking about confusing.
Yeah, I know. The only way we can really tell them apart is that the Australian John Campbell has Krispy Kreme on his car.
He does,
and it's making me hungry, to be honest with you, Jim.
I love. Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme donut?
Yeah, the first Krispy Kreme actual, like, I don't want to call it a restaurant, but like the first Krispy Kreme place that opened here was in Victoria. It was not so far away from where I was living at the time, and it's one of those ones where you can walk in and see them make the donuts.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's the only one, I believe, in Victoria that does that. I think everyone else just either goes to a supermarket like Costco or to a 7-Eleven. But no, I've had many a Krispy Kreme donut, Jim. The best Krispy Kreme donut is just original glaze. It is the best and the tried and true and exceptional.
It is exceptional, and I'm a fan of the chocolate iced, which is basically an original glaze. Then they dip it in chocolate. Yeah, I love it. I do have a yearning. No matter how much we joke about Canadians, I do have a yearning in my life to go to Canada and actually go to Tim Hortons at 6 o'clock in the morning when they've got all their fresh donuts and just get as many different ones as I can. I really want to try like a honey dip, a cruller, everything, because their donuts look so good. So we've got a place here in Texas. They've got several locations, and they've been on the Food Network and everything because of some of their weird concoctions they have. It's called Voodoo Donuts. And, and they have these huge donuts, and they're all kinds of like specialty toppings and stuff.
So, is that like the Voodoo Toad donuts? Is that what it is, or? Because I know there was a donut place which was like Voodoo Toad from Futurama was like their mascot.
No. It's they're like, then their signature donut is like this little zombie donut or something from Voodoo,
Yep.
and so whenever we go, my wife and I have season tickets to the theater. So whenever we go into downtown area to go to theater district to go watch a show, we end up going by Voodoo and picking up a couple donuts. Eat them the next morning. But yeah, they're these huge donuts with like all kinds of crazy toppings on them and whatnot. Like,
Well, there's a place here that's become a bit of an institution called Daniel's Donuts, which is very similar. Does stuff like that as well. They're a bit more pricier than Krispy Kreme, I found, and like the gourmet style of donuts where you can get like a lemon cheesecake donut or whatever you want, pretty much as a donut. I mean, they have their place, but just an original place, just
absolutely.
Spot,
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's, $12 or like $16 for a dozen. Can't go wrong. It's good.
Look at Brad Crest there.
Off the dash of Cress's car. It's just feeling like
This would be
real
a good,
Talladega Nights angle at the moment. I feel like we're looking at Ricky Bobby.
I tell you what, that'd be a good one when somebody's passing on his left. I picked that tip up from somebody else I know.
Oh yeah, somebody who you used to know.
I don't know where that one came from. But yeah, so there's Mike Weeda. We hadn't talked a bunch about him tonight either, but he's running pretty strong there as well. He's up there in 5th place, and didn't he have an off track or something earlier? Or maybe not.
No, Krez didn't.
No,
Jon
Weeda.
Crutchley did. Oh, Weeda.
I don't know. I might be wrong.
You know what? We're 84 laps into this race. We're 3 cautions in, and we're kind of going through the motions at the moment because the field is starting to spread, especially Sean Bradley Cullinan and Matt Piracini.
Well, that's what
it's a great battle pack here in the mid pack.
Yes, I definitely want to go back and talk about some of the drivers that we don't have the opportunity to talk about a lot during the race. Sometimes we're spinning our wheels a little bit.
Jared Jackson's had a good run.
Yes,
he's down 2, but he's been around this battle the whole race. Definitely staying in the fight as well. Kyle Dewey as well. He's up 7. He's in this fight too, just in behind. So they're going through the motion, but they're staying in the train, staying in the fight, keeping themselves clean, which is ultra imperative at the moment for this race. I mean, we're past the halfway point, Jim. We've got roughly 35 laps to go for these drivers this evening, and it's about surviving those 35 laps, making sure you can get to the end, making sure you can get to those final 5 or 10 laps and battle for this win, especially if there's a late caution and it brings everyone close together. And Jim, if there's a late caution, people are diving in, they're taking a fresh set of tyres if they've got them, just so they have the fresh rubber to push to the end and get that grip advantage over the rest of the field.
Well, speaking about diving in, we should be close to seeing these guys that pitted on lap 56 start to have to run through their pit cycle here.
Well, even those who pitted at 45 under the...
well, there's none of those left, I don't think.
Oh, no, they've all pit, actually. No, that's right.
Yeah, no, 56, and that's 30 laps on a stint. So I'm not exactly sure what the fuel burn is here, but the initial round of pit stops, some of those guys were stopping at lap 25. So we might start seeing some here pretty soon, Let's jump on back here and talk about Will Emmerich for a second. He's the one that says he put on. Jim said put something here for my car when I made him pick a team. And he says, Jim, oh, I thought they were pitting right there. That is an interesting paint scheme he's got on that thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very interesting, very Miami Vice-esque about it, isn't it?
It is kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get in.
I do appreciate the Miami Vice colorway. I'm very excited for Grand Theft Auto 6 coming out this year as well. That's going to be a lot of fun later this year in the spring for me, in the fall for the US.
Yes.
I'm pretty much going to give away probably a month of my life playing through that game. Definitely, I think I can get through the campaign in a week if I put time to it. But yeah, it's definitely going to be the talk of the town for a fair while. Jim, is Grand Theft Auto 6, and for Emirates at the moment in the well, we'll call it the
I don't know. Yeah.
Scarface machine, maybe the Miami Vice.
I don't know. There's the pit stop there from the
yeah, Merritt, Piracini, Dewey, Alocca, and Smith, Campbell, Ellison. So they're all diving into pit road.
Let's see. Put this up here and maybe get an idea. Let's turn these off here for now. Maybe we can get an idea how some of those pit stops are going to go for those guys while we look through the field. Looks like, yeah, here comes the leader coming in right now.
Bradley, Krez, Weeder, Jackson, Woods, all in. Hyatt stays out on the road. He needs another pit stop as well in the 3 machine. But everyone has come in to this point aside from him. Piracini is just exiting pit road, Jim. So the leader, Sean Bradley, into his pit box, goes up. So he's taking tyres in the 77. So how well can Piracini run around to catch Ryan Hyatt, the race leader, or not Ryan Hyatt, it's Sean Bradley, the effective race leader, as he exits pit road now. He's exiting now, Jim. Piracini's coming around the final corner. So Bradley should still have the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3 cars just had a crash into pit lane.
Oh, no. Let's see. Yeah, not doing a good job finding that one, unfortunately. See if I can get the leader back out there and let me see if I can get
Ryan Hyatt. So if you find him entering pit lane, Jim, you'll see it.
Yeah. Just 1 second here.
So pit stops underway for this field. If you're watching along with us this evening, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to hop into the chat. Let us know anyone you wish us to keep an eye on, as Bradley and Piracini battle for the lead, change of position as the 24 runs up the inside of the Duff Beer machine. So the Chevrolet and the Mustang battling it out at the front of the field. And we've got a race for the lead, Jim. Everyone has taken their pits. Everyone can make it home on this fuel. And we've got 27 laps to go till the checkered flag at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And well, what more could you ask for, Jim? In a battle for the lead, Tyler Merritt's in there too. It's a 3-way dance to the checkered flag, and it could go anyone's way, but they've got to be careful and cautious to not have a mistake and ruin their run this evening.
Yeah, and I think at this point, as we rattle off these laps here, you're going to get, if we get a caution now, it's going to be who has those extra tires and who doesn't. That's as we talked about, with Al earlier. That's could be crucial here. A guy picking up a late set of tires with 15 laps to go or something like that. But of course, now everybody's got pretty fresh rubber at around lap 90, so I don't know that.
Oh, Tyler Merritt wants to make it 3 wide. Oh my God, that was almost audacious, Jim. That.
Ooh,
your heart almost skips a beat from moves like that.
I'll tell you what, that's a prime example of these guys that they drive around each other a lot. In an official race, that'd have been a wreck there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just these guys know that, they can trust somebody and they don't freak out and do something stupid with their car. As these guys are working their way around a lap car there, I didn't see who that was. Looks like they're running.
So I think it was Isaac Voss.
Running
the 4 car.
Yeah.
So I'm just on my end, Jim. I'm just sitting on board with Piracini at the moment, and the intensity, you can feel it inside the car. The pressure that is being applied for Piracini on the back of Bradley, the pressure that he's feeling from Merritt chasing him down in behind. This is as intense as it gets. And I mean, we saw the outside car shots, but right now it is full focus for Piracini, and he's waiting for his opportunity to break away and get past Bradley into the lead of this race.
He is, but like you said, he's got Tyler Merritt and, well, Tyler Merritt's breathing down his neck back there, and there's a little gap behind those three. It's really interesting that it's spread out like it has.
Paisley in the chat wants us to go to Smith. Which Smith? Oh, Riley Smith. Well, Riley Smith is a lap down at the moment.
Yeah, we have not talked about Riley Smith.
Yeah, running on his lonesome at this stage.
If we get a chance later, we'll pop in before the race is over with Riley and see what he's doing back there. Right now, this battle for the front up here is heating up for sure.
Well, in fact, the leaders are actually catching Riley Smith, so we could put them on screen for a moment once they do actually catch him. But they are approaching as Bradley and Piracini continue their battle at the front of the field. In fact, they've actually already passed him. They've got him behind them at the moment. So
let's see where he's at. We'll pop in.
There he is.
Oh yeah, nice.
So Riley Smith,
he's
couple
out
of
there,
laps down on the leaders.
out there doing his thing. I don't know if he had some trouble that got him a lap down, or just Charlotte in general. Yeah, it can happen.
Could be
sure.
Charlotte in general.
Yeah,
very well
right.
could. But that front pack started to break away now from Tyler Merritt. Piracini and Bradley sticking together like glue. You know, if there's a caution, the pressure's going to be maximum, Jim. Holfield's going to be behind them. They're all going to have the slipstream. And the further back in that top sort of 5 or 6 cars, you're going to start to get that double slipstream from the lanes. And that's when the leaders are going to be under real pressure. That's when it's going to be maximum, because they're going to be at the highest risk of losing those positions with those cars in behind, getting that slipstream off of a multitude of cars in front of them.
Yeah, if we get a caution here, somebody back there in about 4th, 5th, 6th place, something like that, 8th, they're going to take tires and they're going to try to make a run on this thing. Because I'm sure there's several guys out there that are still holding onto a set of tires. Speaking of that, we know that was Al Corey's strategy, possibly. He's sitting back there in 11th right now. And obviously he's going to jump in there if we get a caution. But the way the field...
Well, mate, it's going to depend, though, how much spread the field has, and if you have time to come in, take tires and not fill up too much.
Yeah, I think that, well, if you got more than 10 laps to go, new tires will pass a lot of people. Piracini's closing in on Bradley. Of course, that's then we got a lap car running around up there on the top side. Staying out of the way. No, that can't be. Is that McClendon? Yeah.
Yeah, it was McClendon. He's going slow, so the strategy has not paid off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Steady run here this evening.
Yeah, he's way off the pace. And Tyler Merritt's, he's kind of drifted back
kind
a
of
little.
in limbo, isn't he?
Yeah.
He started to catch back up to them thanks to some of that traffic, but realistically, these are the 3 guys that are in this battle now. You know, we'll have 15 to go. Jackson's about 10 seconds back. Feels like a lifetime.
Right.
Smith is Paisley's dad, so there we go. Smith is Paisley's dad. So
Oh,
glad
nice.
Chubb put that on track. So I normally get to commentate my dad's races when he races, Jim. So I don't normally have to ask people to look at him. I decide not to because I know what can happen.
Yeah, don't jinx your dad. That's bad news.
No, I don't need to jinx him. It just happens, Jim. You don't need me to tell you the story about Long Beach and the safety car train when he killed about 3 cars in the back of it.
No. Yeah, no, it sounds bad. Let's go back here. So who else have we not talked about? Well, we hadn't talked about Jason Benson tonight in that 42.
He's had a pretty solid run. But just unfortunately outside of the 10 now, after strategy hasn't gone his way.
He does a lot of the adminning and answering questions during the race for drivers and things like that. A lot of times I think his focus is only, somewhat half on the race and half on adminning the race, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I noticed
just hit the wall then off the exit. I just noticed that. So
that's
he's struggling possibly.
Well, that's everybody, man. Coming off 4 right there will get you. It'll eat you up. That is such a tough turn. He's got that was like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on his car. You know what's from Ghostbusters? You remember the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Yes, I do. I do remember the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
There he is. Little Stay Puft right there. Yeah, so Jason Benson does a lot of the adminning for this league. So that's he does a lot of work for him. I know that. I know Crutchley as well. Since we're right here, we'll pop in on Crutchley. Of course, he's our driver sponsor for this race. And those guys, whoa, is that Al Corey? He just flew by. It was Al Corey. I don't know what Al's doing there. That's interesting. Yeah, the race sponsors here, the drivers, they keep the broadcast going. They, each one of them contributes a little funds, and they make these broadcasts happen, which we're of course thankful for, and I'm sure all you guys out there at home are thankful for as well. Let's pop back up here and see how our front guys are doing. Yeah.
So big thank you, of course, to Jon Crutchley, today's race sponsoring the number 48. But for Piracini, he's dropping time to Sean Bradley. Gap is now 1.6 seconds without a caution on the horizon with 10 laps to go. It doesn't look likely that Piracini's going to be able to catch back up at this stage to the 77.
And I tell you,
he's up 12 positions in this race thus far, Jim. It's been a great job from him.
Bradley is flying, man. His car is hooked up. I mean, those are fast guys behind you. We know how fast Tyler and Matt are. You got Matt Harmon back there and Jared Jackson, and he's just walking away from them right now. Almost a 2-second lead on this track is huge. Now, he is coming up on some more traffic. That could throw a monkey wrench in his plans, so to speak.
Yeah, there could be a bit of a monkey wrench for him, but at the moment he's looking like he's the one to beat, and I don't even think that the lap traffic's going to catch him up too much. I mean, it's a bit different than a road course, of course, Jim, because you're not having to brake and slow down. There's not much possibility for lap traffic to block you. With this one, it's oval racing. You get into the slipstream, and then you go for the move around the outside or on the inside. I mean, it seems a little bit more straightforward in terms of it. It's realistically, he would really only be getting held up if he caught the pack, which the pack is up inside the top 10. So that would be an extraordinary effort to catch the pack that's up inside the top 10. But at this stage for Bradley, he is 7 laps away from locking himself into a playoff position and battling it out for the championship at season's end.
So let's pop this up. We'll turn this dashboard off. We're going fast.
Smith is still 2 minutes behind the leader and still on lap 109, Paisley. 110. So they're still a fair way back. They're not, as Rulis comes into pit lane, so Riley Smith's actually about to gain a position back there, so there you go. So Rulis is in.
So I'll tell you what, I'll do this here for Paisley. Let's see if we can do this with the board over there. So Paisley, if you look over there, the timing board is going to shift the bottom guys so you can see your dad's name there and see what position he's running in. I fixed it where it would do that. See how it's doing it right there? And you can take a look at it and find your dad. So we are now 5 laps to go, and Sean Bradley has almost a 3-second lead.
Three seconds at the front of the field for Sean Bradley. Matt Piracini, Tyler Merritt as well. They're battling further back for P2, but 5 laps to go. It'll be 4 to go when he crosses the line. And Bradley is 4 laps away from catching the checkered and locking in that playoff position for the 77 Duff Beer Mustang.
Yeah, he has had a phenomenal run here tonight. And Tyler Merritt seems to be shot here, man. See the distances between these guys. They're all spread out so much up here in the front now, which is so rare for this series. Usually they're running, right on top of each other. But not having a late caution sure has spread them out a little bit. Jason Benson must have went and got him some tires. He's hooked up and running right now. Look at him.
And I think Bradley's probably just cruising at this point.
Yeah.
He knows he's,
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty much 2 laps away from a win. He's got plenty of gap back to Piracini.
Look at Al Corey there. Al Corey's sneaking in for a little, want to make sure he gets a little TV time. Going to pass the leader here at the end of the race.
2 to go for Sean Bradley. 2 to go before he is a race winner here in Triple Bypass.
So,
sponsored by Jon Crutchley for the TBP All Stars 120, and right now, Sean Bradley looks to be the biggest star of them all.
One thing I didn't mention tonight I want to do real quick. Tex Nichols is, of course, the series sponsor with NicholsOilPros.com as we come down to 1 to go here with Sean Bradley out front. Tex Nichols wanted me to let everybody know that he is still running that crazy, ridiculous promotion he does, where if you send him an email, he'll put you on his preferred customer list. 25 for the first year, 25% off. Everything you purchase, free shipping over $100. So make sure you take advantage of that. Wanted to mention that since Tex isn't here, as Bradley's coming around to take the checkered flag. What a phenomenal run for him tonight.
A fantastic run from Sean Bradley, who was the latest winner in the Triple Bypass Racing NicholsOilPros.com series for round 6 at Charlotte. He has locked himself in to a playoff position, an opportunity to win this championship.
I didn't talk about my buddy Jeff Slaughter tonight. He's still running the 2 big 8s for me. You probably don't know that joke, but he used to run a big 8 and a little 8, and I couldn't see the little 8, so I kept calling him the 8 car when he was the 88. So he runs the big 8 for me now. Yeah, man, what a phenomenal run for Sean Bradley tonight. I have to say I'm blown away by that. He did such a good job there tonight.
Paid off immensely well for the 77 Duff Beer machine, who currently is lighting up the rears on the main straight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, as he's taken victory lane. We'll drag in our race winner, Sean Bradley, race winner this evening in the Duff Beer machine. Incredible strategy, built some gap out over the last few laps over Piracini. You've claimed yourself a playoff position later this season. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That was a nice clean race at the end there. It's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, you pulled out a nice gap there and just and opened it up. And I was waiting, for something to tighten the pack back up, but it didn't happen. And your car was really, really hooked up there at the end of the race, man.
Yeah, it was just 3 and 4 was the trick, just being as smooth as possible without getting the rear to step out on turn 4 every time, because that was what was burning up everybody's tires, I think, and making it really a handful. So being smooth was key.
Yeah, no, it absolutely was. And this is your second win of the season, isn't it? Didn't you have a win earlier in the year?
Not in next gen, I don't think.
Okay, maybe not. I get them confused. I follow you guys so much in every series that it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to remember. But what a phenomenal run you had tonight, man! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And big thanks to Noj for sponsoring this race, and also, of course, Tex Nichols for sponsoring this series, and all the other guys who put this league together.
Yeah, I missed having old Tex here tonight. I think he went to do something fun. You got anything for him, Hamish, you want to ask him before we let him go here?
No, well, I already know that Sean is not from Alberta, so I don't need to collect him for my Canadian collection.
Ontario, actually.
Yeah, no, I know. I gathered when it said your hometown is Ottawa, so...
Yeah, apparently he's an Australian that's fascinated with Canadians. It has to do with hockey. It's very confusing for a guy from Texas.
I just want to find more Oilers fans, Jim. That's all it is. But
there's plenty of those out there, apparently.
I know there is, but no, sure. No, congratulations. A great effort this evening. A great win next to your name. You've locked yourself into the playoffs. So congratulations. Thanks so much for coming to have a chat to us, and best of luck next time out on track.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right, buddy. Yeah, thank you. So you want to bring in Matt Parasini?
Well, he's not in there. So Tyler Merritt is in there if we want to chat to him about his race. Oh, we get to ask him the question, Mr. Merritt, Mr. Gamepad extraordinaire. We need to confirm this because we questioned if you might do. Do you have one of those 3D printed clip-on add-ons for a controller that kind of turns the thumbstick into a little wheel?
I do not.
Oh, okay. So this is a pure thumb game at this point.
So
it's a regular 360. It's a regular Xbox Series X controller, I believe. Yeah.
Oh man, I tell you what, we need to get you a wheel and pedal set just so but then you'd lose the nickname.
Oh, I have like a really old one laying around that one of the admins from the old league before this one got formed, same group of guys. I've got it sitting around, but it's just old enough to where I wouldn't be competitive with anything. And I'd say I like I could just turn my controller on and race kind of thing.
I mean, that is cool. And, it makes you always get a lot of attention, especially from me, because I know you know that since I started broadcasting these races, I constantly talk about that because it just blows me away how fast you are. So you figured out a way to keep your car on camera. Now you just got to go get some sponsorship dollars to make that pay off for you.
Oh, Wizards is my sponsor. It's just enough to pay like my monthly iRacing subscription and maybe like 2 cars a month, but it helps out more than you think it would be.
Oh, that's nice. That's great.
But,
so, Hamish, you got anything for him?
No, I don't think so. I think you drove a great race once again, Tyler. Somehow you've found out how to drive quick on a controller, which I have no idea how, but phenomenal effort. And how many hours?
Trust me, this car is the bane of my life.
I said to Jim last time that even though ovals are actually quite difficult and they're deceivingly difficult, it's a bit easier on the controller compared to a road course because you're only actually having to go one direction. You're not having to go to the right. So have you found that's a little bit easier on the ovals with the pad compared to a road course?
No, actually, I find road easier actually.
Really? I suppose it's more.
Well, the only thing I don't find easier on road is like the Indy cars on which. Technically, it's the road cars when they go to oval like the Indy cars because there's no steering ratio.
Mm-hmm.
And dear Lord, I tried racing those things at I think it was Auto Club one day. Not a good time.
So since
I was like, what?
So since you brought that up, now let me do a little digging into your thumbstick success story here. So when you change, what kind of steering ratio do you run? Do you run like a 16 or a 14 to 1, or do you run something really tight like an 8 to 1?
For the Xfinity car and most trucks I actually run 12 to 1.
Right.
If it's something like Atlanta or Atlanta, or let's say, I'll say maybe
like Michigan or something like that.
Like Chicagoland Auto Club. Yeah, I'll run 14 to 1 just because steering's a lot more. You gotta be like extremely consistent with that. Well, like the smaller intermediates and the short tracks, I prefer running 12 to 1 just because I can make quicker movements.
Right.
And tire saving isn't as crucial there.
Right.
But yeah, the problem with the next gen is I don't really like the car in real life, but that's their story. That's just my only problem with this car is you get behind someone, you can't damn pass them because of the dirty air.
Well, that's true.
That's my only problem with this car because I tell you, I don't like the fixed setups at all. But I don't know how Matt and them found out Premier, but Premier's been doing a pretty good job with the setups because I don't like this car usually, but because of fixes, I've actually been liking the racing. I kind of wish we did a little longer fuel runs just so tire saving would really matter. But even with how it is now, I mean, you got to those first 10 laps, as I've been told by one or two guys I know at ESC, since I'm part of them now. They told me those first 10 laps in a run are crucial. You warm your tires up too much, those first 10 laps, your whole run, you may as well go and throw it away pretty much.
That's true. I follow, of course, the ARCA farmer.
Justin. Yeah,
Justin Yee, yeah. And in fact, I even take lessons from him. He's helping me out a little bit. That's his whole game is tire saving, and I find it very interesting that you do that you're able to save your tires with that thumbstick, because if anything, you would think that would be the negative, to the thumbstick is, just the fact that the car, you don't have as much feel, you don't have force feedback, so it's hard for you to tell when the car starts sliding a little bit, and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, I have my vibration set up to where it only vibrates when the tires are losing grip, which helps a lot. One thing I will say real quick before we get off topic.
Yep.
Next time you talk to Justin, just mention to him how Tyler beat him at Iowa.
Does he know who you are? Or?
Oh, I'm friends with him.
Oh, okay,
he
yeah.
was mad.
All right, well, I'll give him some. I'll give him some crap about that. Actually, I was supposed to take a lesson from him the other night, but I had to pick up a race. But yeah, I'll give him a little crap about that.
Yeah, back when I was still with Marconi, this actually happened like 2-3 weeks before I left. He asked me what my tire wear was after. I said it was like 50. I said that's like my worst. That's my worst tire wear all week. I said before that race, my rear front had been like worse than 72. And he's like, I just lost to someone with 20-something% less tire wear, worse tire wear than me. I said, yeah. He's like, I'm quitting. I'm quitting.
He's a good guy. For any of y'all don't know him, he has a YouTube channel. His name is Justin Yee.
DJ Yee.
Yeah, DJ Yee, yeah. And he's phenomenal. His driving instruction stuff about saving tires is incredible. He fully understands it, and he can definitely it can definitely help your oval track racing, because a lot of these things are all about tire saving, and he definitely has that. All right, Tyler, we probably took up more time than we should have there. You and I got sidetracked on Justin, but anybody you want to shout out to before you go?
Well, I want to thank my sponsor, Wizard Products, for always being the guy's really great. John's the CEO. He actually, whenever I tag the company on my other team's Facebook page, he watches live or watch the next day, which is really great to see. And I also want to thank the guys over at Elliott Salary Sports. They took me in at the beginning of the year, and it's been really great racing for a NASCAR driver that I actually was a big fan of as a kid. Even though I no longer watch NASCAR, I'm still a fan of him. And specifically, I want to thank over there Jared, Chris, and I want to thank James Mullins for actually trying to help me out with this car, and specifically this car actually, because I've been needing help with it, because I cannot for the life of me figure out how to save tires in this car when I'm trying to battle someone, and they've been helping me with that.
Well, that's some good guys over there, and of course, yeah, Elliott Sadler is one of my all-time favorites, man, all the way, when he was running Cup, and then all the years he's been running the Xfinity Cup stuff too. I love him. Yeah, he's a great guy. All right, man. We enjoyed talking with you, and we'll dig into that Elliott Sadler thing next race maybe a little bit when we get a chance to talk to you.
Road America is gonna be my baby. I'm ready for that track.
Oh, that's right, huh? Yes. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I'm a road course ringer while also still being pretty fast on ovals. Yeah.
Well, that's going to be fun to watch then. I'll keep that in mind. We'll see you next week then, buddy.
Yeah, you guys take it easy.
All right, man.
Have a good night. Thanks for the broadcast.
All right, Hamish. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked there talking about Justin and saving tires.
It's all right, Jim. It's all good. But no, big thank you, though, to everyone who joined us this evening, and to the drivers as well. It's a phenomenal race. Didn't hit the 15 cautions that we had last time, so that went a bit quicker than last time anyway. But no, big props to you, Jim. You're learning and you're getting better at production every single week, so it's great to see. And a great job tonight once again. Thank you for being here with me once again as well. Big shout out to everyone out at Triple Bypass for letting us broadcast the series for them. It's an absolute pleasure to bring the Nichols Oil Pros.com series to you, especially for round 60 tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway as well. Do we have this? Do we have a calendar, Jim, to see which the next race is in this series, or do I need to find it?
Yeah, I do not. So I do not have one. So we'll have to. You'll have to.
That's
just...
okay. I've found it. So next week we'll be out at Road America.
That's going to be fun.
For a road course race. So this is going to be epic. 28 laps next week. Lap 12 is the stage end. So watch out for that one next week here for the Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series, brought to you by Triple Bypass Racing League as well. Big thank you to Jon The Noj Crutchley for sponsoring this race here this evening as well for the TBP All Stars 120. We really appreciate that from him. And as well to NicholsOilPros.com for sponsoring the series too. But I'm Hamish Mono, joined by Jim Cunningham once again. Big thank you for joining us here on JP Broadcasting. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here. Got a heap of broadcasts happening for you throughout the week, throughout the months, throughout the year of 2025. You guys do not want to miss any of it from any of our producers and commentators here on JP Broadcasting. But until next time, we appreciate you being here with us. Appreciate you joining us once again. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Thank you.